Slavery has been around for a long time. Here's a very short history of slavery. It began in ancient times with the earliest records of slavery dating back to 1600 BC in Mesopotamia. At its simplest, slavery is the ownership of human beings. A slave is someone who is owned by another person or entity and is forced to work without pay. In ancient times, slaves were often captured during war or were the descendants of people who had been conquered. Slavery became a part of the economy in many ancient civilizations, including Rome, Greece, and China. The Roman Empire had a large population of slaves who were used in agriculture, mining, and domestic service. Slavery was abolished in most of Europe during the 18th and 19th centuries, but it continued in some countries, including Russia and the Ottoman Empire. Many of them are women and children who are used for domestic service or in agriculture. However, it continues to be a problem in many parts of the world. There are many organizations working to end slavery, such as the International Labor Organization and the United Nations. The worst forms of slavery, such as the sexual exploitation of slaves, are also common. In Greece, slaves were used in the household and were also employed in the fields. During the Middle Ages in Europe, slavery was common throughout the continent. Most slaves were prisoners of war or the children of prisoners. Slavery was also common in the Ottoman Empire, where slaves were used in the fields and as domestic servants. The Atlantic slave trade began in the 15th century when European explorers began exploring and conquering the Americas. They brought enslaved Africans to the New World to work on plantations. The Transatlantic Slave Trade lasted until the early 19th century and resulted in the enslavement of millions of Africans. In the Ottoman Empire, slaves were able to gain their freedom by converting to Islam and becoming soldiers in the Janissary Corps. During the 20th century, slavery was abolished in most of the world. However, it still exists in some countries, including Sudan and North Korea. In the United States, slavery was a part of the economy from the early days of colonization. Enslaved people were used in agriculture, mining, and domestic service. The American Revolution and the War of 1812 led to the acquisition of new territories and the expansion of slavery into these areas. The issue of slavery eventually led to the Civil War, which ended slavery in the United States. After the Civil War, former slaves were not able to fully integrate into society and faced discrimination and violence. Today, there are an estimated 40 million slaves in the world. Slavery is a violation of human rights and it is illegal under international law. This has been a very short history of slavery. If you would like to learn more about this topic, please read the provided resources. Thanks for watching.